lovely?
Well, I'm well. It's great to see you.
Oh my gosh, it's so good to see you. It's been way too long.
It has been long. You look wonderful as always.
Oh, thank you. A bit of lighting works wonders. You too, my lovely. But
Ew.
before we get chatting, I have a little introduction for you. Here we go.
I'm excited.
Here we go. A little bit of REM.
Nice.
It's the end of the world as we know it, inspired by your new dystopia mask line with Luxe Linen.
Fantastic.
Kristin is one of the leading event design planning production companies, known for her out-of-the-box and uniquely creative concepts. An innovator for over 15 years, Kristin sets the standard for luxury design extremely high, with trends, decor, catering, and entertainment that takes her clients' visions to a whole nother level. Corporate galas, brand activations, premieres, celebrity and society weddings, and destinations for an elite clientele that demands something dramatic and different is her jam. A recipient of multiple awards like BizBash's Top 50 Event Designers, Best Event Company in the Western Region, California Wedding Day Magazine Best Event Designer 17, 18, and 19. You can see her on multiple TV shows and in countless publications. And now during the pandemic, as I mentioned, in conjunction with Luxe Linen, Kristin has her own mask line called Dystopia that I just love, especially, and sorry mom, that one, because don't we want to say that to multiple people at the moment? She's just one cool chick, and I am honored to have her on my show today. Please welcome the absolutely fabulous Kristin Banta.
Oh, thank you. That was such a lovely intro. You're the best.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. I just, I love to find something different for all my guests. And I was trying to think of what I would get for you. And I just thought the end of the world as we know it, because isn't that how we feel?
That really felt appropriate. And as does an FU mask, I feel like that's something that everyone needs.
Oh my gosh. We'll come back to the masks, but that one with the pinstripe, with the yes, I just love that one. Yeah, I think there was a fighter recently. Someone told me that he was going to do publicity for the fight. I can't remember his name, but he had a pinstripe suit on, and if you looked closely, the pinstripe said "FU" on it. It was brilliant.
He clearly is my homie. Yeah.
Clearly is your jam. Well, we got to stay on KB brand. And, to quote my guest today, the first thing that a guest should see when they arrive at an event is a cocktail. So cheers.
Thank you.
There we go. Except for I didn't have a cocktail glass. So, well, it's 4 o'clock where you are, 1 o'clock where I am. Celebration.
It's, as we all know, it's noon somewhere. So
exactly. Cheers, everybody. Welcome. So, oh my goodness, so much has happened since we last saw each other. How have you been during this lockdown? How has work been? And wow, it's one of those.
It's been
crazy times.
Journey, I think, for all of us, hasn't it? I mean, no, completely unprecedented, as we all know, and this has affected all of us in different ways. But I mean, there's positives and negatives we can look at with anything, and there's certainly, we can look at the disappointing side of what's happened, the scary side of what's happened, but there's also been a lot of positives. I mean, I think it's forced a lot of us to really look within and determine what's working and what's not, and what we want, and maybe things that are no longer working for us. I think we get so busy in the the race of just trying to get everything done and trying to stay up on everything and to manage everything that's on our plate. And I think that many times we're not afforded the opportunity to really just stop and look and see how we feel about things. And that's not a bad side effect of what's going on.
I agree with you. Yeah, things that no longer serve you, and giving us time to look at our business and work on our business rather than just keep going and going and going.
Well, so ask ourselves: are there other things that are there other things that we could be exploring and other things we can be doing that are part of our brand that maybe we didn't have the time to explore previously? And those things that we can explore now are maybe things that we carry with us for the next chapter of our careers. And I think that part is what's exciting.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I've been working a lot on, you know, SEO and branding and new website and things that I just didn't have time to do before that was lacking. And so I'm thankful for the time that we've had. You know, I'm sure you felt the same. And how have you kept your creative juices going during this time? Because I know that you get inspiration from so many different directions and angles.
I do. You know, I mean, I think that what's been fun is to have to challenge myself to remain creative and to remain inspired, and that's come from me in a couple of different areas. I mean, I could spend, it's so silly, but I could spend time on Pinterest researching all sorts of different categories for ages, and to go down that rabbit hole from anything from architecture to installation art. I do enjoy that, and it really, I'll take notes and I'll think about what I want to do in the future and certain ideas and how they can translate into event design, and I do enjoy that, and I don't always have time to do that.
Yeah.
You know, that's been a great thing. We have our consulting side of the business that's both in hospitality and creative.
Yes.
And that keeps me thinking and keeps me engaged. And then there's like the mask line, you know, which is really rooted in a collaboration with Lux Linens, who I adore, but also a give back campaign to the Search Foundation. So that was my way of trying to think of something little that I could do to be a part of being in the solution for our industry.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you're giving back to Search. And those of you that, I will put up a link afterwards so they can see the mask, but you've got skeletons, you've got the finger, you've got you've got all sorts of things. I wrote them down here. You've got Batman, which I love. I love Batman. And yeah, so I just think they're so fun. Superheroes. What a great idea.
Thank you. It's been, I mean, it's, these are the things that keep us thinking and keep us engaged right now, right?
What a perfect name. How did you come up with dystopia?
I was just looking at the current climate and what my reaction was and what that feels like. That's a little dark, but it's dark mixed with a little bit of a wink and a little bit of humor. I mean, we have to keep, and that's really what that's about. It's, you know, it's a whisper, irreverent, and it's more cheeky than anything else.
Cheeky was the word I was going to say because it's British, but, and also it's so on brand for you because you're so different in the beautiful designs that you do, that they are dark, but obviously they come from the couple and everything, but there is like a twist of humor and cheekiness and naughtiness and fun within all your designs. It's really, you know, you set yourself apart from everybody else, because I want to get, you know, talking about that in a minute, but you really do set yourself apart.
Thank you. That's really generous of you. I just like to have fun, and I think that it's a wonderful treat to be able to design with all of the different tools that we have at our fingertips to figure out how we can showcase humanity. And humanity is beautiful, but it's also, it is irreverent, and it is comedic, and it is you know, thoughtful and feisty and all of these things, and it is a little sexy, and it always is a little cheeky. So I think that trying to figure out how to embody all of those things so that each event feels human at its core and gives people something to think about is something that I've always been really passionate about. So
and it shows.
That means a lot to me.
Oh, it totally shows. How did this take us back? Where were you born? Where are you from? And how did you get into this industry? Everybody's story is so different.
Yeah, I love hearing everyone's stories, because especially in our world, we all come from such different places.
Yeah.
For me, I was born in the Midwest. I was born in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
But I grew up in LA. I've been in Los Angeles since I was 12, and went to junior high, high school, my undergraduate, I did a program afterwards at UCLA. So I am a California girl, almost, but not totally legit. But
a twist of Midwestern.
Absolutely, just the right amount of Midwestern. But yeah, I come from the production side of things within theater. So I have a theater arts degree from Pepperdine, and I studied all the trades that fall under that, from stage management to lighting design and scenic carpentry and welding and all those things. And though I'm not, I mean, don't be misled, I'm not good at any of those things, but I do to some degree know how to speak the language, because that was how I was trained. And so, yeah, from there, I went into local fashion events and local philanthropic, and slowly found my way into both corporate and wedding. So
amazing. And you can tell, because your event's very theatrical, that comes through you.
I like a little drama. Yeah.
Me too. Love the drama. But so was I right to say you were a child actor?
I was. I did that all the way through college to kind of get my way through that. And then when I finished college, I left that behind and went behind the scenes.
How fun. Can you tell us some of the fun things that you were in?
Oh my God. That was so long ago. I little things. I was a working actor. So I was, you know, a bit on Roseanne, a bit on 90210. I was on Days of Our Lives for a minute. I mean, just all of that.
Love that. Isn't it fun being on a soap opera?
It's a lifetime ago. So that just being a teenage actor is such a different world when I think how long ago that is. But to some degree, I mean, that's served me in odd ways. I think that everything, I mean, I'm the queen of I've been in pretty much every trade. I've worked for an interior designer, a florist. I've worked, in catering. I've worked in every single facet. And I think for the longest time, it was like, do you want to pick one? But honestly, all of those things, when we think of them, you know, in their sum, has really aided me in doing what I do now. And it all ends up being rather relevant.
Yeah. And at the time, you know, well, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But at the time, and you're collecting all this information, because to work with an interior designer and art and, you know, all of that is so inherent in all your events. You know, I just think that it's all of that history and learning is put to amazing use. And you never know why, when you're doing it, that you're going to pull it out of the bag.
No, not at all. I mean, when I spent 2 years at UCLA studying marketing within the music industry. So it was a music business program. And I really thought that I was kind of headed there, and ended up staying in events. And that particular chapter offered so much. To combine that with production has changed the face of how I do business. But at the time, I didn't necessarily know that's where I was going with it.
Yeah. So, did you love, what got you into music?
I thought I was going more in that direction. And then I kind of started to see my eyes open to this world and what's possible, and the creative contribution I could make. And I got really excited about endeavoring it. But I mean, I started trying to specialize in weddings, actually, because I felt like there was a little bit of a window and an opening within the marketplace for that less traditional vantage point.
Yeah.
So when I entered this industry, it was really about specializing in weddings to kind of to make a name for myself within that, and then to kind of go out into doing some of the other things that I really wanted to do, which is, you know, doing experiential and corporate and what we really do for the most part now. But I didn't know any weddings when I started, not a clue. I don't think I'd even been. Yeah.
That's hysterical. But yeah, it's amazing what you can do, what you can learn, right, from books. If you didn't train under somebody, you know.
I've read everyone's books.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I love it. But I also love that you know who your client is. Like, it's really clear to you which is the right client. Did that take you a while to find your right people, for them to jump out to you, to know that they were the right ones right away, rather than take a job and then realize, oof, this isn't going to work?
Sure. I mean, I think we're always going to have those. We're always going to have a malaligned client. And then it's the challenge of, you know, how can we find that alignment? But I think that I was always very clear from my early marketing plans with this business of who I was targeting and who that audience was.
Yeah.
I think the more challenging thing, how do we find that audience, and how do we make sure that that audience knows that we exist? And that's the challenge, is seeking out where do they dwell, and how can we find them, and how can we, you know, what is that bell that we can ring so that they know that, you know,
you're different.
This is what is available to them, and how to get to us.
Yeah. So when you started, that must have been really hard, because it's very hard at the beginning to find the clients, and then to find, because yours are so specific. How did you get started, and then, you know, getting the word out that this was your